CPU scheduling algorithm which we will discuss here is first come first serve, which is FCFS criteria, arrival time, mode, non-preemptive. It means that if a process has been scheduled to CPU, then in any circumstances we will not preempt that process from CPU. So its mode is non-preemptive. Okay. So, and the criteria is arrival time, because the algorithm name is first come first serve. It means the process which will come first, that will be scheduled to CPU first. Okay. So criteria of this algorithm is arrival time. Okay. So we have two terms, as I told you: turnaround time, which is completion time minus arrival time, waiting time, turnaround time minus burst time. Suppose if arrival time matches, more than one process come together at the same time, then we have to schedule the process which is having lower process ID. Okay. Suppose there are process P1 and P2 and their arrival time is same, but process P1 is having lower process ID, then we will schedule process P1. Okay. Okay. So we'll take an example here. Okay. Then I'll tell you how to solve the question. Okay. So suppose there are processes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Their arrival time is 1, 2, 3, 4. Burst time is 7, 5, 1, 2, 8. Okay. So we have been given that there are 5 processes. This is given their arrival time, and this is the burst time which is required by each process. Okay. So we have to make a Gantt chart. Gantt chart is a pictorial representation where we show the completion time of the process. Okay. And we schedule them. Okay. Suppose time starts at 0, it means CPU is idle here. Okay. There was no process at time 0. When time was 1, then process P1, suppose this is your ready queue. When time was 1, process 1, or we can write like P2, P3, P4 and P5. So process P1 came into ready queue. Okay. So our algorithm is first come first serve. It means that we will schedule this process. Okay. So we have scheduled the process P1. Okay. So what is the execution time of P1? P1 needs 7 units of time to complete its execution. Okay. So 1. Okay. P1 completes its execution time at 8 seconds. Okay. We are considering that time is given in second. Okay. So P1 completes its execution. So this is the completion time of process P1, 8. Okay. And till the time of 8, all the processes have come in ready state. Okay. So P2, P3, P4, P5. P1 has completed its execution, so we will remove it. Okay. After that, we can see here that process P2 and P3 both have come at the same time, but as I told you that the process which is having lower or smaller process ID that will be scheduled first. Okay, so we will schedule here P2. Okay, so P2 requires 5 seconds of time. So now P1 has completed its execution, P2 has completed its execution. Okay, now we will schedule P3. P3 requires 1 second of time. This is the burst time. P4 requires 2 seconds of time, and P5 requires 8 seconds of time. So 24 seconds. Okay. Okay, so now we will write here completion time. So what is the completion time of P1? That is 8. Completion time of P2 is 13. Completion time of P3 is 14, 16 and 24. So what is the turnaround time? Turnaround time is the completion time and minus arrival time. So turnaround time of process P1 will be 8 minus 1, which is 7, 13 minus 2, 11, 14 minus 2, 12, 16 minus 3, 13, 24 minus 4, 20. Waiting time. Waiting time is, okay, so waiting time, the formula of waiting time is turnaround time minus burst time. Okay, so waiting time, turnaround time minus burst time. So the waiting time for process is 0. 7 minus 7 equals to 0, because the turnaround time for this process is 7, and 7 is the execution time. It means it did not wait for even a single second. Okay, so waiting time for process P2 will be, the turnaround time is 11 and the burst time is 5, so that will be 11 minus 5, that is 6. 12 minus 1, that is 11. 13 minus 2, that is 11, and this is 20 minus 8, that is 12. Okay, so what is the average turnaround time? Okay, so we will sum all the values. So that is 18, 30, 43 and that is 63. We will sum all the given turnaround times, that is 18, 30, 43 and that is 63, and there are 5 processes. So this will be 5 1 ja 5, 5 2 ja 10, 5 1 ja 5, 5 2 ja 10. Okay, so this is the average turnaround time. Average waiting time is, we will sum, this is 22, 24, 34, this is 40. How many processes are there? There are 5 processes. It means 8 is the average waiting time. Okay, so we will calculate throughput of the system here. Okay, so throughput, it took throughput of the system. We will not consider this idle time here. Okay, so there are 23 seconds. The system took 23 seconds to complete 5 jobs, 5 processes. Okay, so in 1 second it will complete 5 by 23. So this is the throughput of the system, because throughput of a system is how many processes have been completed per unit of time. So this is the average turnaround time, average waiting time, and this is the throughput of the system. Okay, in first come first serve algorithm, if the first 2 processes having large burst time, it will have the huge impact on the average time of remaining processes. This effect is called as convoy effect. Convoy effect. Suppose there are 4 processes. Okay. Suppose their arrival time is same. Okay, but we have to schedule P1 first, then P2, P3, and then P4. Suppose their P1 burst time is 20 seconds, P2 burst time is 40 seconds, and the burst time of P3 is 5 seconds, and burst time of P4 is 2 seconds. So this is the disadvantage of using first come first serve algorithm, because first P1 will be executed and after that P2 will be executed. It means that to complete P3 its execution, it has to wait for 60 seconds. Okay, and after that P4 will be executed after 65 seconds. So this is the advantage of using first come first serve. It will have a huge impact on the average time. Okay, so this is called convoy effect. In next video we'll talk about shortest of first algorithm. Thanks for watching the video.